Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by Generals Joe's REBORN.com. Hope everyone's having a good, Monday? It's a Monday. How did I not remember that it was a Monday today? It has had Monday vibes. It's been a proper Monday today. Hope everyone is doing well. Yeah. And having a good start to their week. I am here obviously tonight to talk a little bit about some leaked classified images. Yeah. Who have we got in the chat so far? Hello, Lone Dragon. You can't start a stream right when I'm about to go out jogging. I demand that you wait until I get back. Unfortunately, I'm doing double duty tonight, which sounds like it does sound like a G.I. Joe, doesn't it? But not after this episode. We're going to be doing a Patreon episode as well. So if you are a Patreon, either at the Red Shadow Army or SAS level, then you'll be getting another episode straight after this one. But yeah, sorry, Lone Dragon, you're just gonna have to go. You're gonna have to listen to it later. Apologies. Hello, Chris G. Hello, Johnny B54, Ice X Mikey, Derek Holloman. Hey all, hope everyone is enjoying their Dragonfly. I haven't got mine out yet. I need to do an unboxing, but it's going to take ages to sort out. I might just not bother. Hello, Mark. Hey, how you doing? Mark Seddon, Talking Joe fame. FCE Viper, what up? I'm at work, so I might get in trouble for watching this. Really? So I figure this is like a pretty standard issue time that I go live in the evening. Anyway, hello everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's doing well. And like I said, we're going to get stuck into some classified leaked images today, courtesy of Jay Khan. Yeah, we're looking at Darklon and Frag-Viper, and we're going to try and glean as much as we can from these images, I guess. And you never know, there might be more to come, because at the moment, I don't think we've seen Darklon's head yet. That needs to happen, doesn't it? Anyway, let's get into this, because it's only be a short one. There's only 2 images to look at. But yeah, here we go. Yo, so like I said, big thank you to Jay Khan for sharing these images of an in-hand Darklon and Frag-Viper. I have no idea what order I put these in. Darklon first it is then. So we'll start with Darklon. This is actually, for me, one of the most interesting that we've seen so far of this particular figure. Now, we did see kind of a part, almost like the same parts, just not decoed before. So it's not the first time we've seen this figure necessarily, but this is the first time we're seeing it in its what effectively looks to be its production colors. I have to say, I am vibing quite strong with this deco. The figure looks great now. We can see it's sort of a bit more color going on here. The only thing, obviously, is still no head. Yeah, we're in the headless horseman, the headless Darklon situation. Curious if anyone's expecting news on Super 7's O-Ring Wave 2. Yeah, we'll be talking to Brian actually soon. Nighttime Podcast YouTube channel. So hopefully we'll line that up with maybe a reveal for Wave 2 or whatever. We'll have to see how that goes. Brian might be able to tell us some stuff about it or when to expect it. But yeah, hopefully this week we'll be doing an interview with Brian. But I'll let you know as and when that happens. Now, yes, Darklon, headless Darklon as it is. One of the earlier images we saw of this particular, most of these parts together, actually had, I think, a shipwreck head on it. So yeah, we didn't even really get a good idea as to what it would look like without with head, Kitty said. But looking at the figure, the parts that we've got currently, I really like what they've done with this classified figure. I really do. And I saw a lot of comments about like the comments on the yellow and on the pants and everything. But I mean, it's Darklon. Dude's got some ridiculous coloring going on that figure. But I don't know. I think it's really nice. I like the maroon kind of, or whatever you would call that, burgundy. And yeah, I think it works really well. I think it all works really nice. I think it's really pops. And I love that kind of almost like tiger stripe camo on the green as well. Proper proper liking that. Excuse me. I assume it'll be a Darklon helmet head. But you know, and again, we've seen, if you've been reading the Destro issues of the Skybound comic, then you'll have seen that they've been showing an unmasked Darklon for most of that, and you know, long flowing hair. I'd be quite into seeing them take on that Darklon head in this particular figure as well. So either way, pretty fun. Another, like, I did see another comment of you better come with his evader. He doesn't come with his evader. I'm just going to get that out there right now. This, as we know, this is a retail wave of 4 figure. So just to kind of cut that one off at the pass, anyone that is expecting the evader, you won't be getting it with this particular figure. This figure will be a retail wave of 4 figure. Okay, that's one of the single carded standard classified releases that gets released everywhere basically. So these are the accessories that he's coming with by all accounts. We obviously, with like the fact there's no head on it, means that, you know, there could be a few more accessories that we haven't, you know, accounted for yet. Obviously the head is one of them. An alternate head might be possible. And if that is the case, then the rest of the loadout kind of makes some sense. You've got the pistol, which goes in what I think is the left shin holster, and then the dagger, which I think goes in maybe the arm on the right arm there, like in that kind of little sheath by the looks of things. And then, of course, you've got the sword, which I'm assuming pins to the belt or goes in the back. But in either way, probably both, actually. I like this. And, of course, his weapon, which we've seen for a long time, leaked as kind of like, you know, in many kind of pre-production image kind of leaks. That's pretty cool, too. And is actually, you know, it's quite a hefty, substantial size for the figure as well. So it's not going to be undersized. It's not going to be stupid oversized. It looks like a good size for the actual figure. So, yeah, I think he's going to come with everything you'd expect except the evader, which I don't know. I think a lot of people didn't really care too much about the evader, from what I could tell in like comments and stuff, but did want Darklon, you know, in the line. And this is another Iron Grenadiers edition, of course, heavy connection to Destro, as we've just discussed in the Skybound comic, but also obviously historically. So yeah, I am quite down for this. SVF&G says, who wants Prophet Director Baroness? I think that'd be really cool. I think I want an Iron Grenadier. I want an Iron Grenadier Baroness. I think that would be a cool look for her. Let's see. I hope these colors are not final, not liking them. Interesting, FC Viper. Needs a dark wash, says Icex Mikey. Yeah, also don't forget, this isn't the highest quality image. It also may or may not be. I mean, it's probably somewhat close to production colors, but there are stages that they go through, and this looks like one of those stages, because obviously this is, I assume, has been picked up on the kind of like, you know, the pre-production market, shall we say. And I imagine that this could be like a stage, you know, a few stages along, but maybe not the final stage. So there could, you don't look at this and think this is the final thing you get, you know, we're going to see. Plus, again, not the highest quality image available either. If you look at close up, you'll see that it is a little blurry. So don't take too much stock in what you're looking at right now. I just want to make that, you know, throw that out there. Damn it, Hasbro, I was going to skip. I don't know the character. The helmet is kind of dumb, and so is the gun, but now I want it for the body. Well, Lone Dragon, I have to disagree with you. I think the helmet's amazing. Not obviously shown on here. Someone did put a really funny comment on one of the images I shared in the week saying, nah, head's too small and green because it was the little neck ball. I thought that was quite funny, personally. And I hope it wasn't real. I'm sure it was a joke, but it made me laugh. Max says, I presume he's one of the larger body types too, but not a deluxe. Correct. He is I think he is a pretty hefty body type, but yes, this is not a deluxe figure. This is not a deluxe figure. I don't think it's on the heftiest of body types. It's not like a road pig body, but it's definitely I think it will almost certainly be a larger figure. I like the colorway, says Jamie Lynn. I just kind of wish the hits of color on the boots were green. Like I said, it might not be the final thing we're seeing here. Joe says, hi, Chris. I see some coolness here. Awesome. Oh, it's Destro's cousin, says Figure Six Pack. It is, yeah. Hey, Steps Toys. I reimagined him as sort of a whatever not TikTok exists in Energon universe as some influencer that wears the helmet as a gimmick to promote Mars. That's quite funny, Carl. Counting down on my eBay listing for Night Force Ripcord and Crazy Legs. Oh, well, good luck on that one. Who wants profit? Yeah, I've done that one. Howdy, Chris and chat. Hello, Blitz. I like the colors. Good balance between bright and muted, says Steps Toys. I think it looks kind of cool. But again, I'm not gonna just go, this is exactly what we're gonna see at the end. This may or may not end up being the exact look of what we see in the future. Obviously the helmet's got to be thrown in there, or the head, or whatever they have in there. I'd like a retro Iron Grenadier and an IG Scrap Iron, says Figure Six Pack. Yeah, that would be cool, considering Scrap Iron's file card really does highlight his work for Mars. I would say that him being included in the Iron Grenadiers is something that would be quite a fun little addition. And I think would be really awesome. And yes, I'm almost certain we're going to get a retro Iron Grenadier at some point. The big ass gun is awesome, says Joe. Yeah, it is. Yay to the weirdo ankle grenade, says Stepside. Yeah, I know. I'm all about. Although it's more of a calf. They're more calf grenades, aren't they? But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, sort of reminds me of Heat Vipers with their little kind of rockets on their ankles. Any news on the December 1st wave moving out yet? December 1st wave. What's the December 1st wave? Do you mean the ones that were revealed on December the 1st? I don't know what you mean. December 1st, as in the last lot of reveals? I can't think what was supposed to be dropping on December the 1st. I don't know what it would be. You'll have to give me a little bit more context on that, a little bit more detail on that one. The yellow padding will need a wash or Gundam pen at least, says Sean. I need Profit Director Bat, says Stygian. That'd be cool. A bat with leopard print would be sick. Yeah. He's colourful. He is Stanley. Head shrunk Darklon head. Indeed, Figure Six Pack. Darth Helmet approves. Yep. Hello, Gary G. How you doing, buddy? Sorry we couldn't link up while we were in Missouri, but we're going to be there again soon, so I'm sure we'll be able to kind of I don't know, hang out at a Target or something for 5 minutes. But yeah, I'll let you know, Gary. Great to meet you as well on the weekend at AI. It was a lot of fun. Road Pig be thick, says Steps Toys. Yes, he is. Are those Mindbender boots? Possibly. Although knowing this lot, they probably just created something separate for it. I don't know what the build is. Since I stopped playing and collecting Joes in 87, I'm all in on this line as an adult, no matter what they look like, says Hydrus. I like that. All in. The vintage figure and even the club version had some great colors, but were each a bit different from each other. Yeah, they were actually, Max. Yeah. The two versions from the club, there were two club versions. There was one as an exclusive with a con set, and there was another that came out in the FSS that was slightly more vintage, closer to vintage than the first one. The first one was very tactical, but I quite like both of them actually. Blood, I always see hanging with the CGs, Scrap Iron with the IGs, and obviously Copperhead is Python Patrol. Yep, that tracks. That tracks to me. I see Blood kind of either with the regular troopers or with his own bloodhounds. I don't necessarily see him with Crimson Guards on that one necessarily, but that's interesting that you do see him as with the Crimson Guard. Scrap Iron with the IGs though does make sense, although I'm kind of I'm very stuck to that Sunbow thing where Scrap Iron was very much just like a lackey for Cobra Commander, but would just do anything for money. So Serpentor could, pry him away. and Cobra Commander could then prime away with a bit more cash. It was always really about who had the most money. He was a bit of a, you just go to whoever gave him the most money or any money. Supposed to be a bunch shipping December 1st. What bunch though, Chris? I don't know what figures you're referring to, so therefore I can't tell you if I know anything if they're coming or not, because I don't know what figures you're talking about. I need a classified Heat Viper. They will be epic. Retro IG will be the rank and file IG. We just got our officers. Yep, I like that. Oh, Iron Grenadiers, Storm Shadow. Okay, in that case, yeah, they're out there. They're all out there. Alpine and Storm Shadow are at Blimmin. What are they called? B&G's, Barnes and B&N's, Barnes and Nobles, and I've just, someone sent me images today of them in like a Target, I think, and that was the Iron Grenadier Bat and the Iron Grenadier. So yeah, there you go. 80s Toy Boy saw the whole wave at Target today. We still need Dread Bats. Yes, we do, Carl. Darklon's huge weapon fits in well with Gridiron. Sometimes huge weapons, Kitty said. Yeah, so they should all, like, they're in stores now, basically, that whole wave. And yes, I'm still here. If it's cold when the stream ends, I will curse your name under my breath the whole jog. Thank you, Lone. We're actually not going to be on much longer. I'm going to look at the Frag-Viper and then we'll go, and then we'll call it a day. So anyway, there is Darklon, and I've got to say, like, again, that sword in the sheath looks pretty cool. Comes obviously with that pistol and the knife as well. So he's got a few little extra bits and bobs, and I quite like that. He's not obviously like swimming in accessories, but that's not bad considering single figure. And I'm fingers crossed. I am hoping, obviously, for the helmet head, obviously, but I'm hoping for that alternate head with the long hair, because I think that is a cool look in Skybound situation. So anyway, whatever. Let's move on and talk about Frag-Viper, because this one looks very nice indeed. Again, I will reiterate, this may or may not be exactly what it looks like deco wise when we get the figure in hand. Just want to reiterate that. Now, it's very likely these are production colors, but you never know. You never know what phase this has gone through, if the other comments have been made on these particular colors or not. And we won't know until we see the official reveals for these figures, which will be, we're not going to see the official reveals for Frag-Viper and Darklon until like February, are we? Because it's going to be the start of next year that wave get revealed. So maybe on G.I. Joe Day, which is like February the 1st, I think. Anyway, Paul says, I wish Hasbro would get ahead of these leaks. Sort of takes the P out of these, seeing them leaked piecemeal. Yeah. It's also interesting because people will complain as well of the images that are coming out. People will be making like serious judgment about the images that they're seeing, even though when the actual figure comes out, and we see the actual official figure, it's very different, or it's like not, it's much better quality, it's much, the deco's better, etc., etc. Yeah, Scott says too much blue, honestly. Well, there's a lot of blue, I have to admit, but I think it's pretty cool because he's got like the straps could be black or dark gray, I guess, but I don't know, it makes for some nice color going on in there as well. No way that October 25 ship date is correct, right? I hope not, Kyle, and I don't think so. I think it's probably just a little bit like worst case scenarios kind of thrown out there, and then obviously it makes it a little bit less of a butt when when it comes out a little earlier or a lot earlier. But yeah, I can't see. I mean, I know they talked about the fact that we're going to be delays, but that is a bit excessive, isn't it? Giving me vibes of the Retaliation Trooper, says Stygian. Interesting. Liquid Identity says colors legs remind me of a lot of Mole Rat or Roll Mat, as I almost said. One large caliber or laser blast of the Frag-Viper backpack, and boom. Yeah, none of it's practical though, is it, mate? But Sean, yes. What an explosion. That would be an explosion worthy of the full force, wouldn't it? Wonder how soon Latal could be released for Glenda to battle. Good shout, figure 6-pack. I would love a Latal. Oh, that Frag-Viper is fire. I'll be army building that one for sure, says FC Viper. It's beautiful, isn't it? He's got that new build walkthrough blue tape. Yeah, he has, yeah. The blue really matches the original release in 89. Yep. I just like the blue sash as a single color hit to the brown and black, but that's me. Totally understand, Scott. Yeah, they've definitely ramped up the blue for sure. Retaliation Trooper shout was Steps toys, was it? Gives me vibes of the Retaliation Trooper Steps toys. Yeah. Sorry, what did I say? Someone else? My bad. At least this Frag-Viper doesn't look like he's wearing pajamas. I get pajama vibes from the original release. Yeah. Big time. The 4-inch figure as well, because they use the Snake Eyes body, he looked very scrawny. This one is way more substantial. I hope October 25th is right. Going to need a lot of money for my other lines next year. Well, we'll see. We'll see, won't we? I don't think it'll be as bad as that. Ever consider doing a call-in show? I think it'd be fun. I don't know. That would be hard to. That would be really hard to. What's the word? To maintain. It would be hard to control as well. Nighttime podcast YouTube channel. I do wish they'd scale those MP7 pistols better. Yeah, they're a little small, aren't they? With all these leaks from the same person, could that person now be on Hasbro's radar with Insider Baseball? I'm sure. That's the thing. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? It's like if you're putting yourself out there and like going, I'm this, that, and the other. The other thing is, this is it could also be in the in terms of like some of these leaked images, a lot of it could just be like they've picked it up on the, you know, not the secondary market, but like, you know, on the pre-production market, and they could have just bought them and it could be in their hand as a private piece now. So that could be the situation, in which case they can't really do anything about it. They can try and cut off the supply, obviously, but it's hard to do when you don't have. This is the thing, isn't it? You really do need. You need to have like the entire company needs to be everywhere. If you're going to be doing stuff out of, you know, China factories or wherever it may be, then, you know, Vietnam. I can't think where else they have. Anyway, they've got factories all over the place, haven't they? But like, you have to have people there in order to secure it and monitor it and all that kind of stuff. And it's just not a simple thing to do. It's certainly not a cheap thing to do. But they used to kind of like put a stop to the leaks, but it's been pretty non-stop since Classified started, hasn't it? It's not really stopped. It's just ramped up more and more. But yeah, I'm sure they are on. They're all on the radar. It doesn't mean they can do anything about it. Do you know what I mean? His launcher looks like an aggressive dustbuster at this angle. Yes, it does. But I tell you what, aggressive dustbuster is my new rap name, Leon. I'd be prank calling the hell out of that show. Exactly, Paul. Like, you call in and you're just saying swear words the whole time and demonetizing the episode. Could you imagine Chris trying to deal with more technology during these streams? I know, right? It's bad enough when like this setup goes like crap. That's part of the fun of a call-in show. Yeah, indeed. Fun. You and I have different definitions of fun there, Nighttime. Call-in show would be a bad idea. Way too many crank calls. Indeed, FC Viper. The Frag-Viper had a Scorpion auto pistol with the original figure. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't usually get like every single thing that the original figure had, but yeah, they did, didn't they? I guess it's a good sign that Joe gets the level of Transformers leaks now, Carl. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's popular. People want to see this stuff. They want to know all about it. I mean, I think effectively it's one of those things where you want to kind of put a stop to it, but at the same time, take it as a compliment. Do you know what I mean? Like, people want to see this stuff and they want to talk about it and they want to get excited about figures and all that kind of stuff. And it is a good sign because it shows you where the brand is currently. Pretty solid, I may add. And like, you know, I don't know, we may be talking 2026 soon. So Anyway, nod, nod, wink, wink. In intelligence operations, they could be doing something that Tom Clancy called a canary trap. Put 1 or 2 different pieces in the samples, so if they're shared, you know who it was that shared it. Bad Wolf Media, yeah. There is, I mean, there's levels to this thing that I just don't think Hasbro care enough about to do something that level. They're probably staged leaks to keep the info and hype going. I can tell you now, Sean, they're not staged leaks. I can tell you that with 100% certainty, they are not staged. Yeah, but like that is one of those kind of like long time conspiracy theories. In the past, has it happened? Possibly. But in this particular instance, and in very recent instances, that's not something that they do at all. Join late. Did you cover the helmet color? No, Leon, but that is what I was going to say. This is probably not the final color of what we're going to be seeing. But again, yes, there is a very bone white almost helmet going on there, isn't there? But again, it's probably lighting, probably the quality of the image. It might not be that white. Kitty said, call in show. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? No. Leaks are good for them. Excuse me. I guess in a way it is, isn't it? In a way, it's one of those things where it does kind of keep the conversation going, and keeps everyone very like excited and all that kind of stuff. So in a way, I believe that is the case, Lone, as well. Yeah, I do agree with that. How long until radio show Chris gets hello? I am D-Viper. Exactly. It's not happening. Long time listener, first time caller. Exactly. Hardball versus Frag-Viper. It's all about who hits the home run. Yeah, that I'd like to see Hardball soon. That would be really cool, especially considering we're getting Mad Marauders a lot now. So I'd like to see Hardball in like included, and then also redone as a Mad Marauder deco. Thanks to the club for adding him in later in the history of the brand. I'm really curious how they will do the head sculpt. Cal, for which one? Because we've kind of seen the head sculpt for the Frag-Viper, and it's awesome. And you can see the top of it there. But in terms of, if you're talking about Darklon, same. I'd love to see how they're going to do the head sculpt. I guess metallic effects not added for an EP or first shot. Exactly, Lon. There's a good shout. There's a good point. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the fact that this is just a test shot, or well, not. It's probably more than that, because it's well, we don't know, do we? Is the answer on that one? But you're probably right. It's not far along enough in the stages of production to have the final piece, is it? And considering we're not going to be seeing these like even shown officially until the start of next year, it's likely that we're seeing early production samples, even though they're decoed. It might, very early stages of deco. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just Lenny, like Ryan Reynolds, anonymously sharing the Deadpool test footage back in the day. Not actually accusing Lenny, by the way, just using him as an example. No, yeah, I know what you're saying, Bad Wolf Media. Like, and again, leaks could be in-house, but in terms of like the company, they don't want that. But yeah, I know what you're saying, definitely. I thought it was revealed as a helmet on Frag-Viper. Oh, that's a good point. That is a good point. I think you're right, Cal. No, sorry, I see what you mean now. I 100% see what you're saying. Yeah, that might be why we're not seeing the head. That's a good point. Yes, you are right. The Frag-Viper helmet is removable. And that is a helmet, not a head sculpt. You're totally right. I completely forgot about that. So thank you for making that distinction. Coming back to that, that's probably why we're not seeing a head on this or the other figure. Again, early kind of like production samples, maybe they've been very strict and they can't show the heads. Possibly they might have them, but they can't show them. Don't know. In any case, very good point, Cal, and thank you for reminding me on that one. I would imagine, again, not knowing, but I'd imagine it would be like a balaclava style head, in the same way that we've seen on like the Ferret Scout and the Troopers and all of those kind of, like the eels up inside. Yeah, that kind of vibe, I would imagine. But yeah, I'm excited to see, like, it'd be cool to have them like holding the helmets as well, like in like displays and stuff. That'd be kind of fun. The heads could have marks or numbers on them, Max. Indeed. Yeah, like Saw Viper, Cal. Indeed, yes, absolutely. Must be a small head looking at that helmet size. Well, again, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think they'll get it right. We've seen, I mean, the render we've seen, and the helmet does look quite. The head is quite a significant size, so I think it'll be all right. I don't think there'll be any issues there. He's not going to have. It's not going to be like the size of the neck ball that we're looking at there. That would be hilarious. Anyway, Frag-Viper. Accessories wise, looking pretty cool as well. That kind of like feeder tube is interesting, isn't it? Because it's kind of flexed and it's got like little gaps in it. I quite like that. I think it looks really neat. I like it. Not like a nice pipe. Of course, his cest is pretty cool. Again, a couple of deco hits on there. And as said before, probably prior to them hitting it up with the kind of next stage of maybe kind of making it a little bit shinier. Yeah, but overall, I think looks really good. Oh yeah, that I was kind of like, what the hell is that tiny little thing? But no, that's just another pipe, isn't it, for the helmet to the front of the helmet to the backpack. So that's pretty cool too. And of course, you've got that kind of like a grenade throwing effect, which is pretty dope as well. The tube looks much better than the render. Indeed, Scott, I agree with that. DJ MPTV says ab crunch is annoying. Why can't they do them all like Bazooka and Retro Duke? There's an element, unfortunately, isn't there, of kind of like trying to make the most out of tooling. And when you have certain kind of like torsos that make sense and work with other parts, you'll get a lot of reuse out of them. So until we kind of see, you know, like most of those ab crunch things kind of like utilized, you're probably not going to see that all the time. The other thing I would say on that as well is, you know, they may find that it's a bit better for certain figures, for ones that they want to kind of like pose a certain way. I don't know. But anyway, either way, that's something you're going to see when they have to kind of reutilize, you know, certain tooling. I prefer this ab crunch for its range, says Paul. Interesting. Ben says leaks are still coming from the same sources as 2024. Jay Khan seems like 2025 figures are still coming from the same factory as 2024. Doesn't explain October 2025 figure delay. Thought moving factory. Moving factory was a theory, but it wasn't necessarily what the reason was. And no one still, as yet, knows what that reason is. And Hasbro aren't saying anything. And also, I've noticed there's been no sort of like adjacent sort of article about like what could be causing issues with you know toys over the holiday period and all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those things that we're not quite sure of. A change of factory does make a lot of sense, but also yeah, we don't know. Hi Benedict, what's up? Frag-Viper looks great. I finally got my Tiger Paw with Wreckage from Target today, scored a 25% discount. Congratulations, Benedict. And that is one hell of a figure and vehicle. So I love the Tiger Paw and Wreckage. It's so good. The Bazooka one barely moves, says Paul. Yeah, there's that issue, isn't it? It looks good, but it doesn't move as much. Yeah, definitely. Sean says the helmet is probably white in this because the chrome effect it has in the digital render is probably a last application, not in a proof like this. Agreed, Sean. Yeah, that's a very good point. That's been made, or that kind of point was made, but yeah, that you've kind of put it nicely is what I'll say there. I recall a highlight player in a Miami Vice show intro. Funny that Don Johnson played Lieutenant Falcon. Nice. Figure 6 pack, 6 degrees of the figure 6 degrees of separation pack. I like it. Scott Skeen, I fight too much to get Duke's buttons lined up on the retro buck. Do you? I don't seem. Yeah, probably because I don't. I know why I don't care. Because I have the. He's wearing the binoculars. They hang in the way, so I can't even see it. Change in production is what they said. 80s Toy Boy. Yeah, exactly. Predicted slice and dice. Woo woo, can't wait. Nice one, David. Bazooka is the one figure it looks worst on though because it breaks up the numbers on his shirt. That's a good point as well. Although, imagine what it would look like on a Ab Crunch Lone Dragon. It would be worse because you'd be over 2. I mean, that's probably why they did what they did, because it's one cut as opposed to multiple cuts over the numbers. I mean, the numbers would be all over the place if it was on a Ab Crunch. It's one of those things, isn't it? What would you prefer? Do you prefer the overall look, or do you prefer the articulation? And sometimes there's a little bit of, it's a bit of a battle going on with that one, and it's all about preference in it. So I don't know. It's never really bothered me, the Ab Crunch, at all. The only time it's bothered me is when they added the Ab Crunch articulation to the card art on the retro cards. That was the funniest thing ever. Anyway, that is all I'm doing tonight for you guys. We looked at Darklon, we looked at the Frag-Viper. Thanks to Jay Khan for these images. And yeah, they look pretty cool. Leak listings 2024 is all done. That's all green. So check, moving on. And just to remind you where Frag-Viper and Darklon land, there they are on the leak listings on the left-hand side. The retail waves of 4. Frag-Viper is Grandpa, and Darklon is Smithers in the Blowtorch and Footloose wave as well. Chris, will I be doing a live Dragonfly unboxing, Johnny? I want to. I just also can't be bothered. I mean, I want to, but it's going to be a lot of work. And if there's no news to talk about or other things I've got to do, then I'd love to. Anyway, FCE Viper. I don't know the answer to this, right? So I'm gonna read the question out anyway. Any truth to this? The delays are because Hasbro will be starting a new toy line at the start of 2025, and the new toy line is not G.I. Joe or Transformers. I have no clue. It's a possibility. It's another theory that could or might not be true, but I have no idea. I have no clue as to why this delay is happening, and they're not saying. They're not telling. So, and I have asked, trust me, I have asked. If you need to put yellow, you need to put yellow lines all over the 2024 listings. They are covered in mustard. They are, aren't they? What did I miss? Nothing. Airborne's Customs. I've said nothing. The new toy line would be called Full Force, says Jason. I like that. The only note I've ever had on articulation is I wish the ninjas would have toe articulation. That's interesting, Bad Wolf Media. Yeah, I know. I'm not like crazy into toe articulation. When it's done right, it's great. But for the most part, it's always really wobbly. But no, I know exactly what you're saying, because they kind of gave Storm Shadow little upturned toes and Nunchuck little upturned toes, don't they? To kind of allow you to kind of get them into sort of thing. It's a weird little... we're not going to do articulation on the toes, but we're going to make it almost like so you can have them like walking sort of thing. Anyway, there's lots of reasons why that could be happening, the delays wise, by the way, guys. But anyway, it could be a number of things. In any case, that is that. Thank you very much for joining me today to talk about Darklon and Frag-Viper. I will be going live shortly for our patrons on the SAS and Red Shadow Army levels. And yeah, you can kind of look out for that in a few minutes. In the meantime, stay fresh cheese bags. I will return with a Dragonfly unboxing, because I actually want to get the thing out and look at it and play with it. And the only time that ever happens is when I do an unboxing. So it will be happening. And like I said, we're hopefully talking to Brian Flynn this week from Super 7 as well. So hopefully I have that for you as well. And if there's any other news, I will go live and talk to you about it. Stay fresh cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Force. Brilliant. That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, Full Force.
Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/TheFullForce. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.